Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is John Everington. I'm a retired probation officer who was working formerly in England, in various locations in England. But a big thank you and a warm welcome to you, to my channel. And my little talk today is about how out of a bad situation can come good. So, it's so easy, isn't it, to write people off, isn't it? And say, God, they've committed a crime, send them to jail, you know? And, but, the thing is, if you send somebody to jail for a short period, they're much more likely to reoffend than if they were sentenced to a period of probation supervision. Also, people don't really think about, they think about the crime, send them to prison. But as a society, I really think that we should look more widely at crime and think about what the causes are of crime. And believe me, so many young people start offending as a result of failing at school, either just simply stopping going to school, slipping off the school register, or being suspended from school. If a child is suspended from school, there is a very, very high risk of them becoming offenders. So, what I'm trying to do is urge people to look at the broader picture about crime and try and start giving some thought to the root causes of crime. Anyway, I want to talk about one of the people I supervised. I'm going to call him Paul, and he was in his early 20s, and he was one of these people. He dropped out of school at the age of 12. Nobody chased him up. Nobody got him going back to school or anything like that. Nobody checked out to see what he was up to. And he started mixing with wrong uns. He started mixing with other people that dropped out of school who were into petty offending. So probation deals with people who are over 18, and Paul was about 19 or 20 when I got into contact with him. And he wasn't a particularly serious offender, but he was quite persistent and quite prolific, really, at doing minor crimes. He used to come in, and one of the things you try and do as a probation officer is you try and have a positive relationship with the person you're supervising, and you're trying to get them to go in a positive direction, And he used to come in once a week and tell me what he's up to. And quite frequently, he used to talk about the police. He was frequently stopped by the police. He was on their target. He was on their radar, and he was stopping them. And he kind of felt victimized, really, and he kind of felt that they were on him all the time. Sometimes, they didn't have any particular reason for stopping him, but other times, obviously, they did. So the amazing thing about him was he really knew his rights. And he knew the police code of conduct. And he said, look, the police stopped me and they done this and that. And they had no right to, according to their rights. They should have done this. And he just knew it all inside out. He knew the police regulations and their code of conduct. He knew the law. He was amazing. Even when his solicitors dealt with him, he would be advising the solicitors about the law, saying, look, I think the point is this. The law states this and that. And one of our weekly sessions, he came in and said, oh, the police stopped me again. And, they did this. And I'm really annoyed because according to their code of conduct, they shouldn't be doing this and that. And I said, oh, goodness me, you should be a lawyer, you know. And Paul said, well, do you know what? I would love to be. And I went, gosh, that's a thought. So we kind of looked into it, and I said, right, I found this access course. So an access course is marvellous, really. It's a course where somebody can join it and they haven't got any GCSEs or A-levels, but they can join the access course, and if they pass the course, this allows them access to university. And I got him to join the local library, and I suggested all sorts of books for him to read. I remember there was one, it was called Learn How to Study, which was quite apt. And, I gave him a nice reading list. He got all these books out from the library, and he enrolled in the access course in a humanities course. A bit of sociology and psychology and other humanities type subjects. And I said, look, bring your homework in and your first essay, and I will try and help you. So there he did. He was happy as Larry on the course, brought his first essay in, and I looked at it and I was gobsmacked. I said, did you write this? He said, yeah. I said, are you sure? Yeah, I did write it. Did you write out a book or something, or did somebody help you? He said, no, I did it all on my own. I did write it. I said, well, that being the case, I'm sorry, Paul, but I can't help you. You actually write better essays than I was ever capable of when I took my studies. I said, this is great. It's absolutely first class. So needless to say, he successfully completed his access course, and he applied to go to university to do a law degree. And, fantastic. This guy who hadn't been at school since 12 applies to do a university degree at university in law, and successfully, and he enrolled and off he went. And I was immensely proud of him. Can you imagine? So were his solicitors. And they said, look, Paul, we would like to offer you a bit of work experience. And, and they organised it. So needless to say, Paul really changed his lifestyle. He was working hard with his studies. He stopped associating with his former criminal associates. He pushed them to one side, and he focused on his studies. And his solicitors were equally proud, just like me, and they offered him this work experience, and they took him to court with them, the local magistrates and Crown Court. And guess what happened? The police said, oh no, sorry, he can't come in here. You can't bring him to do work experience with you at court. No, not him. This was because he was known, and they was worried that he, people would know him, and he had his friends in court, and he'd disrupt procedures or whatever. So anyway, they negotiated, the solicitors and the police, and it was agreed that they would stop him going to the local courts, but they could take him to outside courts, whenever they went, courts in other areas where he wasn't known, which was perhaps fair enough. So, needless to say, he successfully completed his degree with flying colours. And the other thing that's lovely, of course, is he stopped offending. Now, which is brilliant, isn't it? Bear in mind that if he'd been sent to prison, the chances are, statistically, he would have been at much higher risk of reoffending on release from prison than he would have been doing probation, which was the case, obviously. So, out of bad can come good. And, there are many other successful stories like this. Some of my most successful ones were female offenders, who, in my experience, many of them, indeed the majority of them, have been victims of circumstances, victims of crime, of abuse, of most outrageous crimes committed against them, and they've been manoeuvred and manipulated into committing crimes by men very often. And through probation supervision, it was wonderful to see many women who had very low self-esteem, low self-efficacy or ability to manage their lives, turn it around and become confident, self-confident, skilled, very assertive, appropriately assertive with people, and, improve their self-belief, and quite capable, becoming really good mums, good parents, achieving good jobs and things like that. Wonderful. So, when you're a probation officer, it's a bit like your football team getting to Wembley when you get a positive result like that. And it's not that rare. So there is a purpose to probation. And believe me, probation is much more effective than short prison sentences. Thank you for watching, and do look out for my book. It's available on UK Amazon, on Amazon in the UK, and it's called You the Sentencer. It's a book written by me, John Ebrington, and I hope it's the sort of book that people read and it's so boring that they all go to sleep on it. No, that's not true. It's my little joke. Hopefully you'll find it interesting. I write in a kind of basic, straightforward manner. And so it's hopefully quite easy to read. But the interesting thing about it is a very interactive and participative book, in that throughout the book you are asked questions. So at the beginning of the book you are interviewing people, and you have to work out, you have to form a view about the interview. Then there are a series of court reports that are quite realistic, and you have to choose how you would sentence them. And then finally, there are a number of difficult dilemmas for you to consider. Very, very interesting. So do look out for my book. It's available on Amazon UK. It's called You the Sentencer, and I really hope you enjoy reading it. Very best wishes, and thank you so much for looking in, and do look out for other YouTubes on my channel. All the best now. Bye-bye.